to the Nicki Sun Show. I'm so excited to have a very, very special guest, the Mr. Epic One-Shot himself, Drex Lee. How are you?
What's up? I'm happy to be over here. Epic One-Shot. Yes, let's go.
You just flew in, 2 days ago? And you're just like flying in now just to be on the Nicki Sun Show. I feel so special, Drex.
No, of course. I had to make it in here, fight my way through all these scenes just to make it here this morning, fighting through my Uber times, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm here, so
well,
I'm excited.
I appreciate you. So what are you doing here right now?
I'm sitting here in this chair talking to you, answering all these questions.
That. He's like, I'm not thinking about what I have tomorrow. In the next hour, I'm here, locked. Well, I feel like a lot of people know you online, but they don't know your story. And I know between you and I, we've known each other for a hot minute since the mixed TV days. But I mean, you've blown up. You've gone from 0 to how many million subscribers now in a year?
I think that is, overhyping me just a little bit. You know what I mean? But, I would say that, the journey has taken me in a little different route than kind of what I initially started with. And, I've always kind of planned for this, but without really planning it, I guess.
So planning, not planning.
Yeah, planning it, but, kind of putting it a lot to just doing what I love, you know what I mean? Without looking too much into the future, but looking more into the present and how I could really take my present and evolve it. So I guess that in itself took me a lot further than when I did plan it. Because when I was planning, I was looking too much into the future without bettering my present at the time.
Oh, so your advice would then be like plan for now, not the future?
Exactly. Most definitely plan to make what you're doing now the best that you can, because if you plan to, make whatever's in the future good, you're not working on yourself now. You're trying to work yourself in the future, right? So plan on yourself now. Make the current you the best as you can, and that will evolve into the future, because sometimes you might not know how to become that future self from the current you, because you're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're trying to figure out, but instead of trying to figure out how to be that, be the best that you can be right now.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know who you are, like, how would you describe yourself and what you do? And again, like, go off. Tell us how many followers you've gained from a certain time. I feel like that in itself is very motivational and inspirational to a lot of young content creators who want to be like you.
I don't think a lot of people want to be like me, but what I do think is that I do think that, people do get inspired to do the things that I do, but not to be like me, but of course do the things that, I do, right? Because my whole platform is giving inspiration, right, on how you could do things on a very minimal basis, you know what I mean? Very minimal things. And when you ask me, what do I do? If you were watching me from afar, you'd be like, man, that's a crazy guy swinging his phone around, right?
Yeah.
Which is essentially, yes, that is exactly what I do, right? Yeah. I swing my phone around and record. So, I take that footage and then I edit it and then make it look, usable, look good. So, and I do everything in one shot, right? That's not to say I do everything in one take.
Yes.
So
Thank
one
you for
shot
the
is different. One shot is, one long shot with no cuts. That's a one shot. And I call it epic because it just looks freaking epic.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just not a really, it's not one of those takes where it just kind of like sits there like just this frame and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I like to do in my epic one shots is that I like to take the audience through an adventure, right? It may not be for everyone, right?
Okay.
I've seen lots of comments where they're like, oh man, it's making me dizzy. Oh man, my 3-year-old could do that. Oh, I'm about to throw up. Oh, it happens. It happens, right? It's not meant for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But it is meant for the, and everyone's different. Every viewer is different. Every, movie critic is different. Everyone that goes watches something is different, right? Everyone has different tastes. And I just happen to cater to my specific audience that loves exactly how my style is, right? So, yeah.
I just want to share then, like, as of this morning, you had 8 million TikTok followers. You just hit 2 million on Instagram, and you just started a YouTube channel that I think broke the 2 million on YouTube. But yeah, like, just for those who like this is like a massive feat, knowing that you're kind of new to the space, but not new to creating.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So I just had to child that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was
Sometimes
like,
I'll like.
did I hit that? Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, I try not to pay attention too much to what my following is.
And that's what I love about you.
Yeah.
Is like every time I mention followers, I'm just saying followers for those who are listening who are like, why should I care? Like, well, this individual in front of me, Drex, has literally. I've seen your journey and your career change, and then this moment, this whole epic one shot, which has kind of I hope you're trademarking this, has really propelled you to viral fame on the internet. And it's like, wow, you know. And so any channel that you're starting right now, it's blowing up. Like you can just tell people to follow you, and they're like, okay, I'm at 1 million in 2 days. It's like it's wild. It's wild. But I mean, what made you feel like this was the time to do it? And what was the inspiration behind doing this kind of shot? Like, when did that whole concept of epic one shot really happen?
As a filmmaker, right, you have many different styles, right? You have a lot of different styles in your arsenal, right? Every time you incorporate. So, you know, like I used to do a lot of commercial filmmaking, music videos, et cetera, like that, right? So, you know, when you look at a filmmaker's style, right, if you're a good filmmaker, you don't just have one style, right? You have to be able to incorporate. You have to have a whole arsenal of styles to incorporate into every one of your productions, right? So for me, you know, I had a whole arsenal, right? And then the epic long take is one of my specialties, right? I incorporated in a lot of my music videos and short films. So, you know, now all I really did was just condense it into, you know, kind of like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, like I've always had it. So it's not like I just created it out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always how it's for me, it was like, how could I ask the question? How could I take the audience through a journey in 30 seconds? How do I have a introduction, a climax, and a conclusion? Right.
Yeah.
And then the introduction is always like, okay, we're opening the scene, right?
With boom.
We're opening that too. But
I should have started this interview that way.
You
Oh my
could've,
gosh.
yeah.
Boom.
Boom. But the epic one shot always starts off with introduction, always shows a reveal shot. It always has some sort of reveal, right? Then something climatic happens, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be like a car driving off, there's always a setup in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then it will always have a climax somewhere, and then it always have a conclusion with it whipping out.
No, I love that when you break it down like that too, because you're building it up for that reward.
Exactly.
And the reward, the audience gets that. So you build it up, you show the BTS, and you know because they trust. And when you're building an audience, it's about like them trusting you that you're not going to stray away or post some weird content that like, I didn't follow you for that, right? And you give them the reward of what the shot actually looks like after showing the BTS. So
Absolutely.
Your formula is just incredible. When you see other people trying to do the epic one shot like you, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I love it. To be honest, like, you know, people send me videos like, I get probably like 50 to 100 videos a day of people sending me like, you know, check out what I did. Check out what I did. What do you think? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I love it. I support it, you know, because, you know, it's just like, you know, as a teacher, right? Like I said, my whole platform is about inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With very minimal things, right? Like some people could look at it and be like, oh, that looks like trash. But that's your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, someone else sees it differently. And same way for me, right? Like a lot of my videos when they first came out, a lot of people were like, oh, that's trash. That's trash. That's trash. Like 99% of the comments were like, oh, that's trash. Right? I mean, not say trash, but oh, I'm going to throw up or like, oh, I'm Virgo or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
Some really bad stuff and, well, negative stuff. But, you know, it was 99% of them. But very fortunately, I had that 1% of people that was like, man, this is dope. I love it. This is dope.
And share, you know?
You know what I mean? And, you know, it's because of that 1% back then, right? Mm-hmm. That was able to, you know, basically keep me going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, hey, at least 100% of people don't, you know, you know, at least 1% likes it. And then that 1% is meant to support you. They discovered you and they're like, man, this is the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to follow him because I love his stuff. And he inspires me to do this. You know what I mean? And that 99% that drew those negative comments and negative reactions up, they weren't meant to see it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was just being pushed to the wrong audience. Like you mentioned, it took two years. 2 years. I've been on social media platforms going on doing this for 2 years. And, it was a rough 6 months in the very beginning. But I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to make it because I love it. And one person out there likes it. They comment. And 2 became 4 became 8, and so on. And then now 14 million later, right?
Yeah, exponential growth.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's all about, being able to support your supporters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give them what they want. You know what I mean? Who cares about the ones that don't like it? They're gone anyways. It's like a Yelp review.
Yeah.
The ones that write a negative review, you lost them already. No matter what you say, you lost them already. You know what I mean? And whatever you write to them is for the next person to read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you take care of the people that support you, and they'll be your biggest fan.
Who is your audience now? Like, how would you describe your current audience of what they want from you, what they love to see from your channel?
Oh, my audience is everything, right? I had old people, I had young people, I had people of all ethnic backgrounds, all demographics, all parts of the world, like literally all parts of the world, where I am very surprised. And, even I was just in Korea, and then, even over there, I had, I never tell people where I am, right?
Yeah.
I show up. And then, because if I tell people where I am, too many people come at once, and then I won't be able to have that genuine interaction with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if too much people, hi, bye, hi, bye, hi, bye, I hate that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When people come to, I love how, they'll be like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, what's your name? You know what I mean? Like, what's your favorite videos? You know what I mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. They'll tell me about the whole thing. So we have a really cool interaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And, just like when I was at the New York Auto Show, right? And my audience is huge into cars. You know what I mean? Like everything. Actually, I make everything.
I
cool,
learn
right?
more about cars on your channel than any other channel, because I'm like, oh, that's really cool. What car is that? Now I know.
Yeah, I make it a little cooler, right?
Yeah.
So even over there, right? They're like, hey, do you want to have a meet and greet? I'm like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? They just let me wander.
Yeah.
And then they notice me, right?
Yeah.
They'll come up.
It's more organic that way.
Very, very organic. I love that. Special shout out to everyone that does come up, because sometimes people message me later, oh, I saw you, but, I don't know
I'm
if
shy.
I should, you know what I mean? They want to come up, blah, blah, blah. But, like I try to look at my messages, but then, I'm getting like 1,000 a day, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I try, but then, I don't always get them. But then, I love it when people always, the best way to for me to actually see your content is actually to keep just like tagging me. You know what I mean? That way, my notifications are going off. Okay, I could check it out, right? But I really genuinely try my best to answer every single comment, and I try my best to get back to the tags and everything like that, and comment on my audience's post about it and stuff like that. So and it's just crazy. Like it's filmmaking. What I do is literally just filmmaking. When people say, yo, Drex, he's an influencer, I'm like, I'm not an influencer. I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I make films differently.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm just making films. I'm not out there doing any other trends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything crazy that social media is known for.
Yeah.
I'm just making videos.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about too. Like, you're filmmaking, so you've been in this world of creating. This whole social side is something that comes with it. Like, are you prepared, or like, was it caught you by surprise, or is it still I'm still kind of getting used to this side, or you don't like it? How do you feel about all that?
The way I think about it is like this, right? I feel like in this world, as a Asian American, right, our opportunities in media is very limited because of who we are. You know what I mean? Like, and this is just coming from me. This might sound controversial. I have no idea how this is gonna come out, but I feel like you don't see a lot of Asian Americans in traditional media, right? And as for me, sure, I got my chance doing commercials and music videos and stuff like that. But to break into, festivals or film and stuff like that in Hollywood, it's been I just don't see a lot of us on there, right? And if there is us on there, we're in ensembles. You know what I mean? So it's there are pockets, tiny little pockets. But I'll put it this way, right? My filmmaking style is very unconventional, right? My style is very unconventional. So I feel like if traditional media does not recognize us and do not see that we're valuable and that our art might not be up to their standards, right? We could be like, yo, well, now I have 4 billion views behind me, and they tend to think my stuff is obviously worth it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that traditional media, Hollywood, whatever, is wrong, but I'm just saying that they don't see what others see, right?
Yeah. And then you create your own channel.
So, it's social proof,
yeah.
right? If they see like, oh, you know what, this is actually good. It's kind of like walking to a club or passing by a club and the club has no line and versus a club next to it that has a line. You're like, I might not have to wait in that one, but I do want to go to the one where I have to wait in because that has to be cracking.
Yeah.
Regardless of all the good reviews you heard about the club that's dead.
Yeah.
Right? You're not gonna go to that one because the social proof isn't there. So you would go to the club with the people in it, right? Regardless of how bad the reviews are of that club, you're like, I still have to go there because everyone's going there.
Yeah.
Right? But I think since then, my short has, one of my short films has completely blown up in the festival scene. You know what I mean? And now, as you see on my page, you know what I mean? I'm
Name
working.
it. What's the name of your short?
Find You. It's just me
Find
looking
You.
for my dog.
Okay.
But also shot on my phone.
Yeah.
But as you see now, like if you see on my page, you know what I mean? Like, I work with, so many high level people and, shout out to them for, all of them reaching out to me, because like I don't reach out to anyone because I know what I do and I know how I could be perceived as in like they could look at my shit and then they could be like, oh, this guy just swings his phone around. That's crazy. And then like versus like, a genuine appreciation for exactly what I do. When they reach out, they're like, oh man, I love that work. You know what I mean? Then they reach out.
And there's collaboration. Let's collab. And can you like talk about some of the collaborations that have come your way? I know, namely, because it's Pin, and I always go through the top 3 Pin posts on my guest's Instagram page. But one of your pins is with Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin. Like he's, as a fan from like way back since like Soul Plane, you know what I mean? Like, I've always imagined Kevin to be a super dope dude, right? But I remember one time I was going on Instagram. I was like, I was just at a premiere for a movie, and then I was at an after party for it, and I was feeling really down a little bit because I don't know, everyone in there was just like, you make videos with a phone? I don't know.
Oh, they were like being negative.
Yeah, they were
about
like,
it.
yeah. But then the thing is that they don't say that until I tell them I use a phone. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is dope. And I'm like, oh,
yeah. But they see the content. They're like, this is fire. This couldn't have been possibly filmed on a phone.
And I'm like, they're like, oh, you gotta upgrade to like all these studio cameras, blah blah. Or else you'll never make it. You'll never. And then I'm just like. I don't know. I mean, like you know who you are, right?
Yes,
You know
yes.
who you are, but at the same time, you're like, man, it sucks to kind of walk away from that because you would think you would kind of embrace it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it's fine, right? It's fine, right? But the next day, I remember I was like, just scrolling. I was like, Kevin Hart's following me.
Yeah.
Should I leave him a message? I was like, shit, let me.
So did you direct message him?
So I clicked message. There was a message sitting for me in there already.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yo, Drex, I'm a huge fan of yours, blah, blah, blah. I would love to do some stuff with him. I'm just like, yo.
Like, really?
Tell me this is not a fake account.
I know, right? They have the verified blue check mark on it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, shit, 160 million followers. This has to be Kev.
Yeah.
And then, after that, we connected, gave him a number, shot me a call. We talked about a bunch of ideas. And then, you know what I mean? Met him, brought me out to the Super Bowl show. And, like, we were hanging out over there. And then, yeah. And then after that, the rest is history. So, but, like I said, Kevin's one of the dopest dudes I ever met, just in real life, just like the way you see him and all, he's literally just like that. Introduced me to so many people, and yeah, it's mind blowing still, you know what I mean? That's not to take away from any other, people I worked with,
Sure,
like Serena Williams, also really amazing person, you know what I mean? Like, we she invited me to her house and we did a bunch of cool stuff, you know what I mean? Like amazing people, and yeah, at the end of the day, we always look at certain celebrities like, oh man, they're like this untouchable, you know what I mean?
Unattainable.
Like God like figures, But at the end of the day, they have feelings. They want to work. They want to do stuff too. You know what I mean? Like at one point, they were just like us. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that all the artists that I have been able to collaborate with, I feel like we're all kind of cut from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Where like we really started all at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like, you know, that's what makes us so relatable because of that. Because for them to be great at the level they are right now is they had to work and work and work, the hustle, that grind, that vision, right? To get to where they are, right? And that's what makes people relatable. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, say for example, it's like you went off and became very successful, but your friends from like high school are like still not as doing what you're doing. So when you guys get together, you guys have absolutely nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? The relatability is not there anymore. You know what I mean? And, you know, I understand my place of where I'm at, right? I'm still trying to get to where I need to be, right? And I know where I stand. So, you know, I'm not going to push certain things upon other, people that have already made it to a certain level where I'm like, hey, let's do this together. But then I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? For me to be like, for them to respect my proposal, I have to be on their level.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they have to see it from their point too, right? Like they have to see it. Is this even like possible? You know, would this piece of work even come out great, right?
Yeah.
Well, gotta have a proven track record.
Yep. Which is your whole page and every single video you've done and all the collaborations you've been able to do.
But not just that, like say for example, right? Like just say for example, A-lister wants to do a movie. I'm not an A-lister. I can't be like, yo, I'm gonna pitch an A-lister in my movie. He's gonna be like, well, do you have an A-list resume? Well, I have an A-list social page. But no, they no, right?
Yeah.
But what I could do is if I want to do a movie with an A-lister, I could create a movie, bring that movie from indie to, you know, like super low budget to like a cultural hit, right? Then I could present that and be like, yo, I'm A-list now. We could collaborate and it will make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to do all the convincing. You know, like, come on, please. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it'll be good. They'd be like, yo, this is what I got to be. Oh, dope. I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think for me is like I mentioned going back to Hollywood is like proving yourself, right? And if, say, I'm trying to pitch you something, you think I suck. And then, but you see that, oh, man, this guy just got 4 billion views in 2 years. This guy's onto something. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you'll think about it and you'll be like, yo, Drex, I think we got to talk. You know what I mean? We could do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about people who, and maybe this doesn't happen in your circle anymore or you've like been able to like wield it out, but for those who didn't want to work with you before, see your stuff now and now want to work with you, what is your attitude towards those people?
I don't want to speak about that.
Okay, we're keeping it real. We're keeping it PC. So, but you know that happens in this. You know, they don't want to work with you, and then when you get big, then they want to work with you. It's a piece of humble pie.
Absolutely, but also at the same time, you know, it's not like I was asking like really big people to work with me back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so every you know, big person that's worked with me now, I've never reached out to them. Obviously, right? They're on a different level.
Yeah.
Right? But I remember I asked people back then when, you know, I was kind of, you know, going off on social media and I was like, you know, let's see who wants to do some cool stuff. You know, I reached out to a few people that were like, they weren't even big, but I mean, like, they were like, eh. But at the time I was like, you know, I just want people, you know, to you know, experiment with, you know?
Yeah.
And then, they're like, oh, no, blah, 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 you know. And then obviously now they're like, oh, they're gonna be blah, blah, blah. And then, but I just don't have time for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I had time, you didn't want it.
Yeah.
But now when I don't have time, you want all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not fair for me.
Yeah.
It was very fair for you back then,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not fair for me anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, back then it was fair for both of us.
Yeah.
Right? So, it just comes down to, timing as well. You know what I mean? So it's not that I don't want to work with them or anything like that. I don't feel jaded or anything like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's just that, that part has been kind of outgrown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear
So,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking about the celebrities you've worked with in the past, that they're people too, cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back before all of this and like all the journey that has made you who you are today, because I look at you, I'm listening to you, very marketing savvy, very business savvy. Can you let the viewers and the audience know like what kind of canon events, as we like to call it, like moments that were pivotal to push you in the direction you are right now? Can you just share a few that were so pivotal to who you are today?
I think those are great business terms, business savvy, I just like to do what I do, and then I just like to cater to what people like. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that, like, if people don't like it, you just do something to where they will start to like it, right? Even if, like, say you don't like it, but your friend likes it, so your friend tells you about it, so you start to like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's just like, okay, I used to do, as you already know, I ran tons of businesses.
Yep.
Right? So, and all those businesses were always in service to others, right? So, what I mean by that, of course, doing nightclubs, doing a restaurant, doing a gym, doing a cafe, doing performances, doing a social media ads agency, doing, political campaigns, doing, filmmaking. But then, like, other than that, it's just like, for me, I was just throwing darts at the wall. And then, like, kind of like I knew I wanted to do those things because I love those things. I love cooking. I love working out. I love partying. I love, just, basically making my engine run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, so I never had a job before.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things where it really forced me to work really hard, because I'm like, dude, nobody wants my service. No one wants me. You know what I mean? Like, apparently what I do, like, they don't want what I do, regardless of whatever job I applied for, right? I just wasn't good enough, right? And that could be fair. You know what I mean? I might have not been good enough for that job, right? So what I had to do was go out and just prove myself.
Yeah.
Why would people want my job? Why would people want to hire me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would people want to pay me to do things, right? Essentially a job, right? So I went out, started my own business. I'm like knocking on every door, like, hey, this is what I could do. If they don't want it, that's fine. I'll make it and then see who likes it. You know what I mean? And then the more people that like it, the more attraction it gets. It tells whoever's gonna do the hiring, be like, oh, that guy is making something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So going from there, you know what I mean? I used to rent a room from a trailer home. So, because obviously I don't have a job. So, like, just making whatever I can, right? From there, and then, was able to build up a nice clientele. Then, started doing nightclubs and then doing events. And then from there, I opened a restaurant. Then from there, opened a gym and then a cafe. And then, so forth. And then, but the whole thing was always like constant hustling and, pivoting to different things and just trying to figure out solutions to different problems, and was it stressful? Super. Was it risky? Yeah, I lost everything. Invested everything, lost everything, started all over. And the biggest question that I had to ask myself for all of these ventures that I start was, if I lost everything today, would I wake up okay tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If the answer is yes, then I'm doing it right. If the answer is no, then I don't should stop.
Yeah.
Right?
So have you used that in your past?
No, I mean, pandemic just crushed everything, right?
And you have to pivot. You have to.
Yeah. I absolutely lost everything. But at the time, I wasn't prepared to answer that question because it happened so quick.
Yeah.
Right? It was just like, because usually, when a business goes downhill, you're like this and you're like this, like a little mountain, right?
Yeah.
But it was like steep off a cliff. So I lost everything. I had no idea what was going on. And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. And it was just like, I stopped preparing for my future and I started preparing for my now. Okay. Like just that at that moment, I was just like, you know what? Everything that I planned for just went to crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all this planning that I did. And then that's why I meant I never look into the future. I plan 2 weeks ahead. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because everything changes. You know, everything, who knows? Another virus come out and shut everything down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I plan for 2 weeks ahead, then adjust,
Yeah.
right? Adjust, pivot, whatever it is, right? So, you know, just being able to, I guess, survivability now, right? I'm in survival mode now, right? Where like, okay, you know, when you're in the forest, you can't plan for to live for the next like 5 years, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Build a little fort house? Whatever, like, a storm comes by, wipes it all down, right?
Yeah.
So 2 weeks for me, like 2-3 weeks, you know what I mean, planning, and then like I said, focus on myself now, be the best that I can be right now.
Yeah.
As long as I wake up the next day better than I am yesterday, that's a win.
Yeah. But I mean, survivability, as you say, and resilience, like you're so resilient. But where does that mindset, where did that come from?
I mean, you know, it's just coming from, you know, I think just being in my type of sphere in my hometown, Stockton, you know, they call it a crab pit because every time a crab comes out, another crab pulls them back in, right? It's, I say that I feel like being from Stockton, California, which was like, if you guys don't know about it, was ranked one of the most miserable cities in the U.S. like several years in a row, and we're not far from the Bay Area. We're really close, about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we've seen good times there. We've seen mostly bad times, and you know, but I didn't know any better. You know, growing up there, I was just like, oh, this is normal life,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I just think over there is just like, okay, everything is possibly taken away from you just like this,
Yeah.
right? So I grew up really paranoid, always looking over my shoulder, you know what I mean? Always looking at people with a, you know, I just feel like growing up there, you get stabbed in the back multiple times, right? And from the front,
Yeah.
right? And
Metaphorically and physically.
both ways, right?
Yeah.
You know, bullet shots, everything like that. You know what I mean? Like I've seen, you know, I didn't know what good friends were. I didn't even know what friends were. I just thought friends were just people you hang out with and they were just there, right? But you know, I come to realize they're just people on the block that they're just happen to be there at the same time you are, and you guys are able to do some things together, right? But that does not mean any loyalty. Does not mean any, you know, brotherhood. It doesn't mean anything, right? It just they're just there, right? And they could turn on you just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I didn't realize what, you know, a really good friendship was until I kind of moved out and then, you know, saw people to where we actually had the same goals, same, you know, same struggle, same everything, right? The struggle might not always have been, you know what I mean, from like living in like Stockton or anything like that, but you know, we struggled in some way, so we know what struggle is, right? And how hard it is to attain certain things. You know what I mean? And you know, nothing's given, right? The only thing we're given is air and whatever time that is right now.
Yeah.
And very importantly, to what we do with that time right now, because we're not promised time in the future. I think that time is something that you can never get back. So take advantage of every time you have. You know what I mean? Every minute, every second. You know what I mean? When the Uber's late, I'm pissed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, time is very important. When you when you say you're gonna be here at this time, I expect you to be at that time because I told them I'm gonna be there at that time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, don't you know? So time is something that you never want to squander. Opportunity is something you never want to squander. Like for me, I learned one thing is that I never want to miss opportunity, no matter what it is. Every time that you spend is an investment, regardless of what the outcome is. You know what I mean? I think that. You know, time spent with someone, it could be an investment emotionally, you know what I mean? It could be monetarily, it could be anything, but as long as you come out of it positively, then you have won, you know what I mean? So, you know, I tell people when I go out, when I travel, when I do things, I'm back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Even when I'm at home, I'm back to back to back to back to back, right? Because I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to waste any opportunity, you know what I mean? And like, you know, every second that I'm doing something, I'm gaining something. You know what I mean? Even if it's like going out, getting some food, you're investing in your health, right? Yep. You know, so everything is an investment to me. You know what I mean? But if I don't see any ROI in it, I'm not getting it, right? Like junk food, it's not good for me. Like, I don't see a good ROI in that. You know what I mean?
Return on investment for those who don't know.
Exactly. Everything has to be a great return on investment. You know, that's very important to me. Like, you know, even being here right now, right? I'm learning a lot from you, and I'm learning a lot from myself for some reason. But, but you know, just also hanging out with you.
Yeah.
You know.
And I just want to say, Drex, like that's what I appreciate most about our relationship is like no matter what big things you're doing, I feel like it's always you come back and we can always just have a good time just catching up on what we're doing and what we're trying to do. So I want to support you. What is the next thing that you want to do? Like I know filmmaking has been a huge thing. I know Epic One Shot has been your thing. Do you see that this is going to be continuous for you, or are you trying to go a different way?
Well, I think what's very important is that, there's a reason why my audience follows me and supports what I do. And it's the number one thing why they fell in love with me in the first place is, making all this type of content.
Yeah.
Right. So for me to like switch up on them is a betrayal. Right. And that's the last thing I want to do.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not because, for me, like personally, I'm happy with like, making this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But and I tell a lot of people, right? I tell a lot of creators, like, oh, I want to switch. I want to do something else. I'm like, go ahead, do it. But you're going to build a completely new audience because that audience is not going to love you for what you're doing then.
Yeah.
Some might, but you're basically starting all over again. And you have just betrayed your last followers. So I think that for me, I have a lot of things coming up. It's all the same things. It's all filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
We got a feature coming up. We got a bunch of shorts coming out. You know what I mean? The film's still in the festivals. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like I'm very niche. Like I'm really like focused on the type of content I'm doing. Right? It's still the Epic One shots. Right? You know what I mean? That's my thing. Right? And that's what I'm best at. Right? So it's still that, but evolved. Right? Just like anything. You evolve. If you make fried rice every day, you're gonna get better at that fried rice every single day.
I'm gonna throw in some more
Yeah,
seasoning in
you're gonna make different variations of it, right?
Yeah.
Different meats. So you're always so for me, it's like even like my Epic One shots from now is completely different from when I first started, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an evolution of it, right? And then the thing is that it's so vague. You know what I mean? It's so it could be anything. It can make a one shot of anything. But then right now, I'm really into like my action ones.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the action shots, like it's
fight
like
scenes.
It's like basically a action movie in like one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like the I love my like car racing scenes. You know what I mean? Like it's just watching like Fast and the Furious in one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where like, okay, I'm really like focused on this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where like sometimes I would like, maybe I could try doing something outside of it. And I'm just like, I'm not too happy with it, because it's just that my mind is not right for that at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm focused on two other, because they're high intensity right now, right?
Yeah.
Fighting a lot of adrenaline, pushed, right? You know what I mean? That's not to say that I don't love doing my other type of content, involving slower, less adrenaline stuff. But as of right now, I'm just so focused.
Yeah.
Right. And like I have like 500 concepts written down that I still haven't done yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes they sit there for a while where I forget like what it even means. Like I will write it. I'm like, oh crap, visually I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah.
Because you have a vision, try to describe it the best as you can as you write it down, and then you're like, what did I mean by that? You know what I mean? So, but yes, like you mentioned before, like, oh, what's next, right? That's what's next. Just a bunch of more evolution of my socials, the Epic One shots, the short films, coming out before I, get into my feature, and which I can't talk too much about at this moment. But it's gonna come up really fast and it's gonna hit you before you even know it. So
I feel like your videos always hit me before I know it. I'm like, he's doing a collaboration with Serena Williams, like he's doing a collaboration with Kevin Hart. I'm like, okay, there's not like a lot of like, guess who's doing it? You just literally come out boom like out of nowhere, and that just really impresses the crap out of me.
It's always a surprise, right?
It's always a surprise.
If you expect it, you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you what?
Yeah.
It's a surprise. What?
Yeah. I mean, but can you kind of tease the genre, not the celebrity, but just a couple of things that you're in collaboration with? Like if it's more car related or maybe fashion.
Oh, just think about me. And that's it.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And then also at the same time, I'm being in front of the camera. I mean, I'm in front of the camera, but also more in front of the camera without me with the camera.
Okay.
So, been getting into a little bit of acting and stuff like that, which is, I actually used to do a lot of acting before I got into filmmaking.
Yeah.
Which is, which was always one of my favorite things, but obviously I'm behind the camera a lot because I'm really good at it. So being in front of the camera, I love it too.
Yeah.
It's just that it's different for me to be directed by someone else.
Yeah, you're like, I have to turn off this switch where I
Right.
could direct the scene too.
But the thing is that I can't direct myself because I don't know, I can't see myself, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes more time for me to run behind the camera. Let me see the playback. And oh my God.
You just got to hook up and monitor you wherever you are.
That too, or just have a really, really good DP that I could trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, actually, let me talk about that because, like, you put out these videos like constantly, almost like every day. What is the process? Like, do you consult with the people that are acting in your scene with the cars? Like, how do you talk with everybody to get that one shot? And how many takes usually does it take to get that epic shot?
to be completely honest with you, I want to get it all in one take.
Okay.
Because it's really tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I see the energy going around. Like, wow, it's tiring.
Absolutely. So, the process is like I have a concept and I have people in mind.
Okay.
Right? And then usually 99% of the time they're like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'll present the concept. Like, I wouldn't even present the concept. They'd be like, I'm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, all right, dope. So I'll present the concept, but I'm down, blah, 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 blah. So I would go in there just like a film set. You know what I mean? I'll direct them exactly what they're doing. I'm telling them exactly what to do. We'll do a run through.
Okay.
Right? And then, okay, if it looks good, let's run it.
Okay.
So
so how long does that take, the prep part, without filming, usually?
depends what it is, right? Like say for example, I just did. Let me just pull my one. It's tough because then let's see. So I'm just pull up one of my videos real quick of what I just did. Maybe the one with oh, this one. Let's just say this one, right?
Okay, the Instagram one.
The Instagram one, right?
We'll put it up on the, yeah.
I said, go run around and do your thing. She said, okay. And I told her what I was gonna do. I said, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go to the camera. I'm gonna say boom, and then by the time I say boom, you should already be in position.
Okay.
I don't know how she dances,
Yeah.
so I was just like, all right. So I made my route, right?
Okay.
In my mind, I draw a route of where I'm gonna go,
Okay.
right? So that's what I did. So she started doing her thing, and I just ran in to her, backed up, hit the wall, and then back to her.
Yeah.
And that was it. We did it in one take.
Okay.
So that took 3 minutes.
Okay. And then how long does the editing process take? Or do you have a team of editors now?
No.
You're like, I want to like be in control of everything from start to finish.
And the thing is that they have to see the vision, right? Just like if you have a team of editors, they have to see the vision,
Yeah.
right? And
And if not there,
the thing is that my
They're not
vision
you.
is so different,
mhm.
right? And it doesn't take that long for me to edit. Like, to be honest, most of it, the work is on the on the shot,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
90% of the work, right?
Yeah.
So after that's done, all I do is drop a color grade, just do something quick, and then this pops, blah blah blah, and then the longest part is picking the music.
Yeah. And you also throw in a lot of sound effects. in
Sound
there,
effects,
too.
yeah, sound effects. So that takes a little bit of time. Not as long as choosing the music. Choosing the music is really,
Ugh,
really, really,
speak
really hard.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll take maybe like 10 times as long to find the right music
Okay.
than it takes for me to edit. So let's say that video I just showed you, right?
Mhm.
Took me 5 minutes to edit.
Do you edit on your phone or do you upload it to a desktop?
No, I have.
program?
It depends. It depends on the shot, right?
Okay,
It
okay.
depends how simple it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the one that I just went and the doves were flying. That was really like just slow mo.
Slow motion.
Yes, literally, like it was just like I put on slow motion mode.
But it was an epic shot.
I just pressed it and I just ran back there and I
Yeah.
ran and I just cut and
Yeah.
then dropped in the quick color grade and then threw like music underneath and then that was it.
Yeah.
So it's very important for a DP, right,
Mhm.
to have that vision so that the editor does way less work. So it's pretty much like finished already, right?
Yeah.
So that for the editing work, it just pretty much just
Yeah.
drop the color and some sound.
Yep. We don't believe in the fix it in post. So
No, I hate fixing in post.
Yes, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
a shirt. It's like, we'll fix it in post. Like, not working with you.
When people say like, oh yeah, nope, we're doing it. We're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but like I said, that was one take.
Okay.
Some fight scenes, the most takes I ever took was 50.
50.
And this, it was because it was we were trying to figure out. So the choreograph was figured out on the spot.
Oh, okay.
We had a rough idea,
Sure.
but then we had to figure out the choreography on the spot,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have to figure out what kind of hits, and I have to figure out which angles I could get,
Okay.
and then make sure I don't get hit, make sure I get the right angles, and I have to correct and adjust of where I'm shooting to it. So I make sure I hit it right,
Yeah.
right? And how do I get the maximum effect,
Sure.
right? So yeah, we're running like 2,000 steps every take. Yeah, because I'm like back, forth, left, right, front, back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My whole body, like I have to be very like, prepared for that intense shoot, dripping sweat everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Even, yesterday we shot at the grocery store. That one took about 30 takes. You know what I
It
mean?
was a fight scene in the grocery store?
Fight scene in the grocery
Can't
store
wait to look
involving
for
like
that.
5 people, 6 people.
Wow.
Involving 6 people.
Do you just hit them all up and be like, hey, meet at this grocery store
No,
for
no,
like
no, no.
2 hours? Or do you pull people from the grocery stores? Like,
No. So, yesterday she at the grocery store, these 2 girls I met, one girl I met over at VidCon, she was like, I guess she was telling her friend about me, and they were like, oh man, we had this dope idea, she's like, can we do something, blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's not what I really want to do right now, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
I was like, so what are you into? I'm like, I want to do like a lot of action shots, you know what I mean? She was like, oh, okay, I mean, maybe we could do this. So they really went out their way to like, they really wanted to like work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, they're like, man, such a dream come true to work, blah, 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 you know what I mean? So I was like, no, I'm just here, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you give me a good idea, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'll tweak it, and then, if I like the premise of it,
Mhm.
I'll help you develop it, and then we'll make it happen, right?
Mhm.
So, they rented a grocery store, and then they got the choreographers to choreograph them the whole thing, you know what I mean? And, I walked in, and then, we started from there, like this is what we gotta do, boom, 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 and we made it happen. Even before, like yesterday or 2 days ago, when I was doing another action scene, rented a studio because I had this idea where I was like, oh man, it's arcade, this is this, and I was like, it's people hit me all the time. They're like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, what do you think about this? They're like, oh, I love it, blah blah blah. I'm like, let me get people, blah blah blah, and then they get it going, right? Even like last night, where I'm like, yo, I'm coming to town, blah blah blah. He's like, yo, let me pull some people together, blah blah blah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, this is my idea. It's like, boom, got it, easy, and then they make it happen,
Yeah.
right? So for me, I come up with the premise, right?
Yeah.
Ideas, whatever, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then I don't fight. I'm not a choreographer, right?
Yeah.
So they would develop it,
Wow.
right? And
You have your own producer just doing everything when they're waiting for the director to fly into town and just shoot it in one shot and bye. Like, that is very efficient.
But I tried to be, like I said,
Yeah.
when it happens, when the choreography happens on the spot, like yesterday, right? Last night they rehearsed the choreography and everything like that, right? Before I got there, so we were able to knock it out in 30 minutes, the first take.
Wow.
Then I was like, well, I'm here already. You guys want to do another one? Like, yeah. So the next one took like 4 hours
Oh my gosh.
trying to figure out the choreography. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It is super sick one too. I'll show you afterwards. Like samurais coming out. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
gosh.
Like doing slicing. Once I show you, you're gonna be like, whoa.
Well, you're going to show me over lunch, but I just know
Yes.
that we're hitting our time. But I always want to say, before we like end anything, is what is one thing that you wish more people knew about you outside of everything?
I'm pretty much open book. I mean, like, I'm not too much into myself. So it's like, I'm just more about inspiring people, you know what I mean? Like, if there's one thing to take away from this is like, just be the best that you could be to yourself and make sure whatever you do inspires others to do good as well. Because, yes, I like to say be all about you, but at the same time, make sure that it positively affects other people while you're doing that.
Oof. Well, I love it so much. And how do you want people to approach you or reach out to you?
hey, just come say hi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like I
Drex
said,
is open. He's like, come,
don't be afraid. Come say hi. I've literally had people hop out of the car while I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and then just come like, yo man. You know, they'll take a second look. They'll drive back around, and they'll come like, oh, let me get a picture with you. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, come on. You know what I mean? It's all good. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people like literally drive by me like 3 times to make sure it was me, and they're like, yo, love your videos. You know what I mean? Like I remember like I was in Vegas, and then like I'm just crossing the street, and then this girl drives up and says, yeah. I was like, who is that? She's like, I love you. Come here. I gotta get a picture with you because you can't get out the car, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So like, come to me.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so got a cool picture. They're like, oh man, they were recording me. So it was super dope. It was like, so like I said, I'm really easily approachable. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about anything. You know what I mean? Just come say hi. You know what I mean? And I would love to hear your favorite videos of mine, you know what I mean? And
100%.
And how it's affected you, you know what I mean? And after people see me, I was like, oh, boom, and they're like, oh, and they're like, check out what I did, or like, this is what I do too. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's a good thing. It doesn't ever bother you or annoy you if people go up to you and be like, you're boom,
No. And like I said, if I feel like it inspires you, makes you happy, and then that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like, why would I be annoyed? I hate it when people are like, oh, I can't believe you like me. I can't believe you're a fan. What? Huh? What are you doing? What do you do this for?
Yeah.
You know 100%. What I mean? Like so for me, it's like, as long as I know that I'm able to inspire, make people happy, enjoy, you know what I mean? Make their day better, whatever it is, that's all that matters to me.
Well, Drex Lee, epic one shot. Make sure you follow him everywhere. Thank you for investing your time today.
Of course.
On the Nicki Sun Show.
I need some noodles.
Yes, we're about to go get some bang bang noodles. So we'll
bang.
Yeah, bang, boom and bang together. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the audience for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode of the Nicki Sun Show. Bye.